Hello everyone and welcome again. My name is Tom Nelson and this is a continuation of the Diabetes Control 6 Steps to Gaining Complete Control Over Diabetes video lesson series. This is now the video lesson number 5, step number 1, part 3. It's the final series. Phage technology. We're going to be talking about beneficial viruses. It's a new phage technology. New technology just released within the last years or so was introduced a new probiotic that's new on the probiotic market, and it's called phage technology. To find it, I suggest that you Google probiotics phage technology to find it. There's only a couple of companies that are now selling it so far. It will likely revolutionize the probiotics market, and it may someday revolutionize our antibiotic market. So we cannot talk about probiotics without mentioning this new phage technology. Phages, which are pronounced as I've been, phages, are like pages with an F, are actually beneficial viruses. Wherever you find pathogens in nature, there's always a natural phage, one of those most abundant forms of life on Earth. Those beneficial viruses will be present. Bacteriophages is what their official name is. People just call them phages for short. They are actually beneficial viruses that attach to, they infect, and replicate inside certain bad bacteria, and in this case pathogens, and they will destroy them. Scientists cannot agree if viruses are living or non-living, although the majority of scientists believe that they are not a living species, the viruses. So each of many individual phages can be attracted to and attack a specific bacteria. They don't just attack all bacteria. Each of the phages has a specific bacteria that they will attack and destroy. And it's not like an antibiotic where it goes in and just wholesale destroys good and bacteria altogether. So bacteriophage means bacteria eater. People that suffer from gum and gastrointestinal disorders and diseases have a significantly smaller population of these phages. So there are 4 phages that are being incorporated into the probiotics. And they're not only provide the probiotics then, but the phages as well. And they feed the good bacteria while simultaneously killing off the pathogens, a potential replacement for antibiotics. The French and the Russians, specifically Georgia of the former Russian bloc, they've been using phages in place of antibiotics for over 90 years. They've well developed the technology, but for whatever reason, the rest of the world hasn't latched onto it and embraced it. The Russians, all of their research has not been translated into other languages and is now in the process of being translated so scientists worldwide can benefit from their work. So the greatest benefit of phages is that the bacteria cannot mutate and become resistant to them like they do with antibiotics. Phages make no difference to them. No matter how they may mutate, the phages will still go after them and destroy them. So history is full of stories about being healed by various conditions by just simply swimming in a local river or a body of water or in a pool. They proclaim miraculous healing. Well, the Yamuna River in India is an example of one of those. And it's people that swim in these rivers whenever cholera outbreaks or other types of very serious diseases begin to spread. And it stops the spread of the deadly disease. And the reason for that is those waters are very high. They're very rich in these phages that are important to the purity of the water. And the more pure the spring water, the more phages that it will contain. This is what a phage might look like, if you could actually see one. They're extremely tiny. This obviously is an artist's rendering of it. And this is one of the 4 that's commonly put in to these probiotics. This is the Syphoviridae is the name of it. And the top of it, the large part, is the head. And that's where it stores all of its DNA. Despite the fact that it's not a living thing, it does have DNA. And the way it works is the bottom of it locks on, and penetrates the outer part of the membrane of the bacteria, and it injects its DNA into it and eventually kills it. This is a second one of the 4. It's Myoviridae is the name of it, and like the other one, it has a large head that is loaded with the DNA. So the phages strengthen their future phages by uptaking genetic material from their host bacteria. And then that's called lysogenic activity. They're self-amplifying and they're self-limiting. They'll continue to replicate as long as there is a susceptible bacteria to attack. Once they land on the bacteria, they inject their DNA. Their DNA multiplies prolifically to the point where it actually causes the bacteria to explode, to destroy it. And so now you have thousands of these phages which are going to go out and seek more of the same bacteria and attack it. So the immune system will eventually destroy and remove whatever remaining unattached phages that are still there. Once they've destroyed all of the bacteria of their limited particular type, then the immune system comes in and removes all of the unused phages. But the phages also take up residence in the mucus layer. You recall we talked about how your epithelial cells and the goblet cells, when they're healthy, they produce that mucus layer that completely coats the inside of your intestines. And that mucus layer, as we said before, is home for the beneficial bacteria, those lactic acid producing bacteria that feed those epithelial cells. But they also give a home for the white immune cells and these phages. They will literally colonize there, and they'll just lay in wait until more of the specific bacteria that they usually attack come along. So the phages also take up that mucus layer as their place of residing, but there's more to it than just that. The mucus layer is, however, intelligent in that the microbial bacteria can create their own phages to help battle pathogens that attack the mucus layer. So the mucus layer provides a home for the phages and the phages to do the heavy lifting and controlling the pathogens that would otherwise attack, damage, and possibly destroy not only the mucus layer, but the epithelial cells as well. So phages protect the good bacteria from pathogens. They insert genetic material into beneficial bacteria without killing them. So just think about this. The phages are going to also attack the bacteria that they are going to protect. But instead of killing them, they inject their DNA into them. The DNA will increase, but not to the point where it hurts the bacteria. Instead, it'll just lay in wait until some other type of bacteria seeks out to attack or damage or destroy that beneficial bacteria. So it sets up a defense mechanism for the probiotics that you've just taken. So it increases their ability to defend themselves from other bacterial phages that otherwise would seek to destroy them. There are other bacteria that are going to constantly be going after your probiotics even right after you take them. So these phages are going to prevent that from happening. So when the pathogenic population is under control, then the phages will use lysogenic activity to insert the DNA into their host, the beneficial bacterium, to reproduce without killing them, and they lay in wait again, waiting to attack pathogens that may come along again in the future. This is amazing technology. So until recently, phage technology was poorly understood. The wrong phage, the wrong concentrations, all were used to treat infections. This is not new to the United States. Around 1930s, they were beginning to study the phage technology and its possible benefits, but they didn't have the equipment to do it properly back then. And when the antibiotics were developed in the late 1940s, the phage technology kind of died out. But today, cocktails of phages are being used that multiply the number of pathogens that can be targeted, and including those that have mutated and can be totally destroyed. They will not cause any additional problems. Probiotics manufacturers see the potential of phages, and they're researching it, and the technology is being redeveloped on their own independently. They're calling it, and if you can pronounce this, probiotics, if you want to use that phrase. The problem we're facing, though, now is that the pharmaceutical companies are not seeing any significant amount of profit to be derived from phage technology, so they're not showing any interest in developing it. But the day could come when these phage antibiotic substitutes could be available over the counter and not need doctors' prescriptions, and they're far, far more safe. So now proceed to lesson number 6. We're going to move on to step number 2, part 1. We're going to restore vitamin and mineral deficiencies that is caused by diabetes. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and please pay it forward. Share what you learn with others. Thank you very much.